Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're going to take a look at this case. This is the Geometric Future Model 5. This is a ATX case, believe it or not, although it is relatively compact, has a room for lots and lots of cooling and also lots and lots of hardware, and has lots of perforations to make things nice and cool, and also there's lots of glass to make things look nice, which is pretty good. There's also some interesting, neat features. You may see it like that, you may not. Let me know in the comments, but this case does things a little bit differently. Now, it is loosely based around a kind of dual chamber case, and technically it kind of does have dual chambers, but not in the traditional way that you would expect. But they've actually made some changes here to make basically a big EATX case into an ATX form factor, and they've done actually a really good job on it. We'll go through the case in some of the finer details now, but if you actually want a longer deep dive into this case, we actually looked at it in one of our live streams. We'll put some links in the video description so you can check that out, and if you want to see a complete teardown, go through and also do some test fitting of some parts, then feel free to check that out and you'll get a little bit more information potentially. It's a long format video. This, we're just going to kind of stick to some of the facts and just take a look at the build we've done on it. So the build in this is a Ryzen 5 9600X on a B650 motherboard. You've got a 4070 Ti Super in there, 850 watt power supply, 360mm cooling solution, 32 gigs of RAM, and yeah, this is basically kind of the ideal setup for this kind of case, I think personally. This case retails, if I haven't said it already, $79.99 if you go for the model without the fans. If you want a model with fans, then you pay a little bit more of a premium for that, somewhere between 100, 120, possibly slightly more depending where you're shopping. Again, we'll put some affiliated links in the video description so you can check out for yourselves. And also there'll be links to Geometric Future's site so you can check out the color options and look at some of the mock-ups they've done on their site. Actually, it does look really good. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it justice, but I actually think it looks quite nice. The bobblehead on here, I think is somewhat unusual, but quite a nice addition, and it breaks up a little bit. Now, of course, if you don't want to have this in here, this platform is actually removable. A couple of screws you can take out. So if you want a cleaner look, then you can do that. But they do include it, this plinth, which is actually adjustable, pulls out, slides in, etc. So yeah, if you want to make use of that, you certainly can do. I think it's quite a nice thing if you are into displaying things. Maybe you want to put, I don't know, a bobblehead in there, or you want to put, I don't know, a picture of a loved one, I don't know, whatever you want to do. It's quite a handy thing to have, and of course, if you don't want to use it, then you don't have to. Other than that, the layout is excellent. It's got a kind of reverse setup, or chimney kind of airflow setup. So you've got 3 140mm fans in the bottom, obviously if you go with the fan version. If you choose not to go with the fans, you can put in the bottom 3 140s, 3 120s, 2 140s, whatever you want to do. Of course, water cooling, if you go for a open loop, then you can put a radiator in the bottom should you wish to as well. In the back section here, you can put in there a 120, 140 or 160mm fan. Again, in this version, we've got the 5 fans. This is actually reverse blades in the side and also in the bottom. So you've got all of those bringing cool air in and kind of chimneying up through and exhausting out the top and also out of the back. The back fan is a 140mm. Again, if you want to, you can put a 120 in, but again, I quite like the look of this with these nice fans. They do a really good job. They move an absolute ton of air, and they're actually pretty quiet as well, which I like personally. Also in the top, you can put a 420mm AIO, or you can put a 360 in, 280s, etc, etc. Yeah, whatever you want to do out there really. There's a lot of room to play with, and also there's a massive amount of room between the top of the radiator and also your motherboard, so nice and easy access to the EPS cable, and also things like your AIO headers, that sort of thing, your RGB headers, lots and lots of room. And also cable management was surprisingly easy. I didn't think it was going to be quite as easy as it is due to those large holes at the top. Now the holes at the top are actually designed so you can actually put 2 fans in the back as well. So you can have those as either intakes or exhaust. I don't really know if that's a great idea. On the mock-ups on their website, they put it in there and it looks great, but it is a digital mock-up. It isn't a real build. There's no cables connected to the motherboard or anything. So yeah, you might have some challenges doing that. We'll take a look at that shortly. But overall, I think for this, the build's gone really, really well. The radiator fitted in an absolute treat. Very easy to manage all the cabling, etc. Even with the ones which are at the bottom there, trying to plug those into the motherboard, that was pretty straightforward. Even with the fans pre-installed, worked out really well. And again, they do move quite a lot of air, which is great. Nice and easy to route your power through for your graphics card. Yeah, it's basically overall done very, very nicely. So taking a look at the front section, so you've got the power button. Next to that, you've got a power LED. There's also a disk activity LED, reset button, combo headset mic jack. Underneath that, two USB 3.0s, Type A and also a Type C connection. So that's all pretty nice. And this section is all basically the power supply basement, which has now been moved from having its own dedicated section kind of towards the other side or at the bottom in most traditional cases, and has put it up here, which I think is actually quite an interesting way of doing it. It basically locks off the power supply from the rest of the system. So you've got cool air going in the back of the power supply here and coming straight out the top through the chimney effect in its own enclosed area. So the power supply is completely isolated from the rest of the system, which is awesome. And also you've got cool air coming from the bottom from this fan. So it's a really nice layout, and also it is a basically completely toolless design. If you want to remove this glass panel, the front panel I've taken off anyway because it just reflects and you can't really see inside. So this one, if you want to take it off, just pull it off. Absolutely fine. A little bit of a nightmare for fingerprints at the moment, but not to worry too much. Yeah, there we go. So you can see that out of the way. It's got quite heavy now with all the components in, so just slide it back. Yeah, you see you can then get inside, move your bobblehead, etc. Again, you can remove that panel should you wish to. So yeah, overall I think it looks really, really nice. So let's turn the PC off now and we'll take a look inside and see what's going on in terms of cable management. Okay, so looking at the back, so this is what they kind of refer to as a dual chamber, or yeah, two chamber setup. So the top chamber here, so you've got a power supply just behind here, and also here you've got the option for having two fans. So those can be either intake or exhaust, pushing air into the system, or removing heat from the kind of the VRM area, that sort of thing. Also, it's got minimalist branding on it. So you've got the geometric future branding on the side there, which most people will never ever see. And the bottom section here is also intake, and also the back of your motherboard section there, and also cable management area. So in order to get access to that, first of all, you can pop off the top. And again, it is all tool free. So you remove that, nice porous nature. So that is a kind of integrated dust filter and case all in one. So that's pretty cool. Then also to remove this, there's a little notch in there. Just pull that out and it's the same sort of deal. So this is held in place. There's a tag there and a tag there. And again, same deal. So this is not only is it structural, it's also just a massive filter as well, which is pretty cool. So looking in the back, unfortunately, it's a little bit of a mess here. I have not gone to any lengths to do basically hardly any cable management, because one of the things which I was concerned about was, although there's a decent amount of depth here at 37 millimeters, some people are saying, well, it's going to be cramped and it's going to be bulging on the back. Now, the back is basically not held on with anything other than those tags. So if there was any problems with cable management, it would just pop the sides off, which it hasn't done at all. So yeah, pretty good. And also, like, there's loads of room here for stuffing cables. Although, having said that, if you do decide to put two fans up here, where you've got the fan mounts, although the fan mounts are 37 mil from the back there, so you can put cables behind them, it's probably not ideal. It will certainly make the build considerably more challenging. So I would probably advise against it, but if you want to try it, feel free to do so. If you've got a couple of 120 mil fans knocking around at home, then yeah, put them in there, try it, see what it's like. If you like it, then you can maybe get some more from Geometric Futures to try and keep the whole on-brand look going, but that is entirely up to you. Also, you've got mounting sections. So there's two sections here, removable trays for putting drives on, 2.5-inch SSDs or older hard drives if you wanted to. Again, you can just stuff all the wires in here. There's plenty of punch outs and pass-throughs and all that kind of stuff. The pass-throughs at the top there are insanely large. Like, even if you've got some of the biggest radiators, such as maybe stuff from, I don't know, maybe Arctic cooling, they've got the thicker radiators now and the thicker fans. So even with that on there, you've still got an absolute huge ton of room to pass your cables through. Even your EPS cables, which can always be a challenge, yeah, you can put those through with your eyes closed. You really can. It's very, very easy to do. And also makes it easier for maintenance purposes if you want to do upgrades or anything like that. So yeah, that's all really good. Yeah, cable management channels. As you can see there, the power supply is in this section here. So we've just got a thermal tape one in there, but obviously you can use whatever you want to. There are some slight limitations in terms of the actual width to actually get it to fit in there. So I have actually got a new power supply from Lian Li, which actually has integrated cable management straps on the side. I tried installing that and it won't work with the cable straps on the side. I'd have to remove them. So yeah, make sure that your power supply has nothing on the side, which 99.9% of all power supplies don't, but potentially you might, so do bear that in mind. This section is pretty easy to work with. There is basically a section in the top, so you unscrew it on a thumb screw, pull out, attach it to the power supply, then put the whole lot back in. I think I've got some B-roll footage of me doing that, so I'll put that into the video, so hopefully you can see what I mean by that. You've got a cable management section here, so this is at the bottom of the power supply basement, and also that is where the front IO runs through, so it all runs through. There's a big cutout here, which I didn't actually notice the first time I tore this down. I thought there was only one on the back side, but there's actually one on the front as well, so passing cables through, very, very easy to do indeed. And again, at the bottom there, you've got your fan there, which is currently set to intake. So put in a lot of air there. Again, you can put a 160 in there, a 140 or 120, depending on what you want to do. And yeah, I think it's a pretty decent layout. It just works. I like it. I didn't think I was going to as much as I do, but now I've done a build in it, I feel that I'm a lot more confident in recommending this case to other people. Now, taking a look at the top section, if it hasn't been already quite clear, the power supply goes in the top there, and that is where your power switch is. There's a pass-through cable that goes through there, and of course, all this massive area here for radiators. So yeah, that's all done really nicely. And also for access to things like if you're doing water cooling, custom loops, plenty of access places, etc., loads of room to work. Yeah, I really do appreciate the time and effort they've put into designing this. One thing I should say as well is when it comes to routing this cable, now it isn't entirely obvious, at least I don't think it is from the instruction manual, where the cable is meant to go. I was looking for some sort of channel along here, but there isn't one. So yeah, the cable goes from the back, runs through this kind of metal section here and out through the top. And also as well, your power supply, this one is slightly stretched because it is a right angle connector. I just unplug that so you can see. So I've actually had to turn it around. So depending on which way around your connector goes, you may find you've either got lots of spare cable or minimal spare cable. Either way, it still works. It's not really a problem, but yeah, just something else to think about. So taking a look at the back of the case, and again, height-wise, I'll put the measurements on the screen, but yeah, this is basically a very compact ATX case, but with ETX form factor. Is quite strange. So ventilation on the top there, so that is unfiltered. Realistically, for most people, if you've got radiators, then that's going to be great because it's going to pull cool air straight into your AIO, etc. Also, you've got your exhaust there, 140mm, which is included, or you can put a 120 in there. You've got your IO section. Also, you've got your PCI Express blanking plates, all of which are removable and also rotatable. So you can actually remove this entire unit and twist it around 90 degrees. So then you can have your vertical mounted GPU. You can kind of guess that from the little cutouts we've got at the bottom there. So those make it so that those bits there, little tags, can go in through there. So yeah, that's all very good. And moving around to the bottom. So this is actually, again, something which has been done really, really well. And it just feels like it's really, really well made. So you have a full mesh filter on the bottom and it's extremely easy to remove. So just pull this section up. And it's got like a little ratchet type system in there. So it kind of clicks at every point. So it just really feels very firmly done. And again, you can see from the bottom there. So there are our three 140mm reverse blade fans. And again, you've got the options there for putting 120s if you wanted to. And putting it all back in, it all just locks in, and it's actually a really snug fit as well. So it's not like spare or loose or unmetered or unrestricted air isn't getting anywhere else. It's just going to go through the filter. Sometimes you get these and they kind of all feel a little bit baggy and loose, and it doesn't work quite as well as intended. But yeah, this seems to work very, very well indeed. And there we go, the PC is now back together and back on, and our little bobblehead is back in position. I've got to say, I do like this case. I didn't think I was going to as much as I do. And the more that I actually use it and the more that I take it apart and open it back up, the more I like it. The only thing I don't like personally is I don't like the accent LEDs around the outside of the fans. I'm one of those people that I prefer to have the blades actually illuminated. But having said that, because I can't see the illuminated blades on the fan on the AIO, the rest of it kind of ties in together a little bit nicer. So it is kind of growing on me. I'm slightly wishing they were more circular, but I think that is a minor gripe. And of course, as I said at the very beginning, if for some reason you don't like the fans, don't buy the fans. Buy the version that doesn't come with them and put your own darn fans in and please yourself. And I think that is a very nice option these days. It's quite a rare thing that manufacturers do that. Generally, it's kind of like, right, this is our case, this is the fans it comes with, buy it if you want it. If you don't, buy something else. But at least with this, they've made a kind of a distinct thing of saying, right, if you don't like the colour, buy a different colour. We've got different colours. Don't want the fans? Fine, don't buy the fans. Want to buy more fans? We sell the fans separately. So I think they've covered and ticked a lot of boxes. So yeah, I'm really glad I actually did take the time out to do a build in this one. Hopefully you enjoy it and hopefully you like the look of it. If you do, let me know in that comments section below. But I think overall, this is a great case. I would strongly recommend taking a look at it if you like this style. If you don't, obviously there's many others that we've reviewed in the past, which you can have a look at the playlists and see what else we've had in the Mike's Unboxing Studio today to look at. But overall, I think this is great and I'm interested to see what they do next. So let me know what you think about this one in the comments section below. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.